Welcome back this week, John.
Thank you very much. It's been a great break. So I'm glad to be
great break.
back.
You didn't even miss us.
I did not at all.
Well, we don't like to hear that, so at least pretend for our listeners that you missed being here.
I did actually miss being here. I listened to the 6th show, which you had at the same location here at Borders on 801 Bethlehem Pike in North Wales, PA. And it was one of the best shows by far, only to be eclipsed by our 7th show at the same location.
Eclipse, Twilight style, yes,
So,
yes. Borders is our new home, so please come out and see us in person. We don't just have voices, we also have faces.
So I just kind of want to intro you because you're kind of an important person. So I met John while I was at an acting class like this November at Montgomery County Community College in November, like I said. And we were taught by an amazing teacher and actress, Megan Cesario. And after we took Meg's class, John and I ventured into the city to the esteemed Walnut Street Theater, where we did a workshop for auditioning for TV and film. And now, just a couple months later, John has done so much. He's been in several plays at the Mermaid Theater, which I believe is in Chestnut Hill, and a local independent film, and he's currently stage managing a production at Footlighters. And what's the name of that production again?
It's called Let Go.
Let Go. Okay.
And it's at Footlighters in Berwyn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a musical about psychotherapy. And it's actually a very entertaining and fun musical about the lighter side of psychotherapy.
Hmm.
And it's an interesting musical with the different aspects of I'll use the term disorders, but just the interesting side of people going through transitions in their life and getting over some things, and it's very good.
Yeah, it's always good to deal with your issues. And
Yeah.
I mean, that is one way to transition.
I should say it's going to be this weekend and next weekend, the 9th, 10th, and 11th, and the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Awesome, and I'll have you plug that at the end as well,
Sure.
because I think that would be a great thing for people to go and see. It sounds kind of like a new musical too.
It's a locally done musical, so it's all based here in Philadelphia, and it's good to see the playwright and the actors all coming from local, and it's good.
I agree. So, okay, so my first thing that I wanted to ask you about is, when we started taking that acting class back in November, a couple of people, when they were introducing themselves, said that they had recently been laid off, and you yourself said you came from this corporate world as being the president of a company, then you were laid off, and then you decided to try acting. So I was just wondering if you wanted to, talk about that transition and how it's been for you.
Sure. As I had mentioned to you earlier, I've spent most of my career in the corporate world, and it's just a matter of reality today that it changes quite dramatically. So I was working for a fairly large local company, and I was in charge of one of their other divisions, their smaller companies, and they went through a strategic change and decided to divest that part of the business, and I was all with it and on board, and helped them with that sale, so it was not a surprise for me. Being in the corporate world, it's just a matter of fact that I've actually gone through this before. Companies get bought and sold, and I've learned that in these transitions, you need to enjoy it, because the next one's coming along and everything gets busy, and you're on a plane and you're living in an airport and a hotel. So during this time, I've started to pursue something I've always thought about, something I don't get a chance to express myself with, and that's looking inside, and acting's a way of doing that. So I started taking courses, and at first it was just an interest in the hobby, and then I realized this is good.
Hi, I'm Melissa Leon. I'm delighted to be your lifestyle and travel correspondent. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we're going to experience Australia firsthand with Danielle DeSanto, a student at Arcadia University who lived in Australia for 4 months. Australia is a continent many tourists go to each year. Few places can offer as much clean air, welcoming people, and beautiful beaches as Australia. In fact, no place in Australia is far from the sea. I'd like to welcome Danielle to the show tonight. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Melissa.
Can you tell us a little bit about your trip? What was the first thing you noticed that was different than the United States?
Sure, Melissa. I fell in love with Australia when I went. It's just an amazing place. The first thing that I noticed that was a lot different was the climate. It's actually different than here in the US. The seasons are switched. So I went from January till April, and when I went, it was summer. So the weather was really warm. It was around 85 and sunny every day. It was perfect skirt, dress weather, just wonderful to go to the beaches every day. The other big difference was the nightlife there. They had a lot of bars and clubs and things like that, but they were really classy, sort of nice bars. There were dress codes to get in, and the drinking age is only 18 there, so it was a lot of younger people, a lot of people actually from, 16 to 20 going to the clubs and the bars and everything.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that to me that the nightclubs are a little bit more classier, right?
Yes, there is a dress code to get in. It's basically no flip-flops. They expect the girls to not wear jeans or jean shorts or anything. A lot of dresses and skirts and that sort of thing. A lot of them, there's room to dance, and there are a couple floors, so it's not just going to drink. You can, have a fun time there.
That sounds really nice, because half the fun is just being able to get dressed up to go out, so I wish they had that here.
Definitely.
But and you were also saying earlier that Australia is a safer environment. Why did you feel safer?
Actually, it's shown that in Australia, they still have the same crimes as we do here, but the crime rate is a lot less. So it's mainly petty crimes that are happening, people getting stuff stolen and stuff like that, but everyone keeps their rooms unlocked. The place that I stayed in the Gold Coast at Bond University. So I never saw people getting pulled over. There was definitely police presence, but I just really never saw any of them have to take any action with anyone.
What would you say was your favorite place to go out of everything?
My favorite place was definitely Cairns. I went scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. It was beautiful. Got to see a shark, got to see turtles. The underwater life was just spectacular. It was really bright, a lot of coral and stuff like that. And it was really, really, really beautiful.
Well, not much has changed in the job market since we spoke to Stockwell Elastomerics' Rick Colton a few weeks ago. Show 3, check it out on the website. The unemployment rate is still above 9.5%. The United States Department of Labor is still estimating that close to 14.6 million Americans are without jobs. So this week I took a different approach to discussing the job market. I spoke with three different college students who are all approaching graduation and asked them what they think potential employers will be looking for. First, I talked to Sean Patrica, an accounting major from Gwynedd Mercy College, about what he thinks the 3 most important things are for preparing for an interview. Next, we spoke with Mary Kate Kaminsky, a history major from St. Joseph's University, about what she would do to prepare for an interview. And finally, we spoke with Nicole Artis, a biology major from Holy Family University, about what her biggest fears are about finding a job out of college and what she feels interviewers are looking for. All right, well, it was interesting to compare the thoughts of students against my interview with Rick Colton. One of the things I feel students are underestimating a little bit is the value of appearance over the resume. Rick says that everyone has to have a resume, but it's just a piece of paper. Only when that piece of paper is matched up with the candidate in person does the interviewer truly get a sense of who that person is. Well, I'd like to thank my guests, Sean, Mary Kate, and Nicole, for sharing their thoughts with us today. And I'd also like to return a shout out to my brother, Ken Schmidt, who discussed transitions on his Westchester University blog, Running with the Rams. This blog is on the Westchester Daily Line newspaper, and it focuses on campus life at Westchester University from the perspective of a student with input from peers, professors, and neighbors of the university.
All right, that's a wrap on today's show, our 7th show. How are you feeling, John?
I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling good as well. And of course, we want to send a big thank you out to our new home, Borders, in North Wales, Pennsylvania, at 801 Bethlehem Pike. They have been awesome with their free samples and all of their accommodations, so we want to continue to make sure they know that we're so thankful.
Thank you, Borders!
I'm Callie McCurdy.
And I'm John Mid.
And thanks for listening to
Transitions.